Hey, hey, welcome. It's Rick again. This is the last Windsor and Newton acrylic paint I'm going to do for a while. I want to get back to my other colors. I've only got about an hour, so I'm going to try and go through this real quick. I'm just going to design the landscape as I go, but you know, I know I want to have a mountain back here somewhere. Today I want to put a tree coming from the side over here somehow. So it looks like we got a big tree in the foreground. I don't know how that's going to work, but I'm going to start with the sky. I'll tell you what I did. This is acrylic, Winsor and Newton. Okay. It's 16 by 20, and I'm using a little water with a little flow agent, flow additive in there. You just need to put a little bit of this in the water, and it helps the paint flow on the canvas. So, and I'm using an acrylic filbert. I'm going to put all my color in really quick first, and then I'll start designing some cool stuff. So what I did was ultramarine blue here with a little gray and a little bit of purple. Look at, you could see the difference. There's the original blue. And this is what I got. I want to have the like sky real dark, so I want a dark blue here. And when you put this first coat on, you don't have to put it on perfect. If you can see some of the color coming through underneath, that's okay. Don't like come up here and paint it like this, okay? And try and cover everything. This is just a thin layer of paint right now, just to get the color going into the scene. I know I want to have a blue sky in here, and I'm going to put some gray around the edges now. This is Payne's gray, and I mixed a little white in it. So I'm going to put some gray up here around the top. Try and stay out of the blue now. Don't go into the blue yet. Just stay around the edges here. Payne's gray. It's kind of like, here's Payne's gray out of the tube. See the dark color there? Then I just lightened it up with some white. So we're going to have a dark sky, but I'm going to throw some white in there in a second. Probably right now, so I'm going to rinse my brush off. It's good to have like a rag handy to dry your brush off if you need to. Let's grab some white now, and let's start at the bottom and throw some white in here, and let's pull this color down a little bit. Just bring it down to the horizon. So we have this is going to be a really light horizon down here, so I can put some cool mountains in here. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and put some white up in here and just mix a little white into the sky in the gray area. And maybe a little bit in that blue section. Just like this. Now I'm gonna dry my brush, rinse my brush off. I didn't bring any paper towels. I'm gonna have to use an old one here. But rinse your brush off now, and then dry it. Let's come up in here and kind of blend the sky in a little bit now. Blend it down. I'm going to grab a little bit more of my blue now and add it into the center, because I really want it to look a little blue here in the middle. So I'm just adding a little more blue here. That'll work. Then I'll add some clouds once I get the mountains in. Look at that sky already. Wow, I really like that. Look at that. I like that, the color of that blue. It's bluish, and then it's still dark. I want to have a dark sky, so when I put my greens down here, it looks brighter down here, darker up in the sky. So what I'm going to do now, this is how I design on the fly. I'm going to grab a smaller filbert brush, number 8, and let's do some mountains back there. So right here, anybody can do this. So if you're new to acrylic painting, this is about halfway down. I came halfway down. I put a blue sky up there so far. Real simple. Let's make some mountain peaks. So here's the center. But what I want to do is have a mountain here and then a smaller one over here. So off the center, let's put a peak over here to the left. A mountain peak. Let's just design the top part of the mountains first. Then I want to have this come down and then come over to another one over here, a little shorter. Just like that. Now let's put a few more peaks over here. Just like that. Now take your brush and let's fill this mountain in. Let's bring it down maybe halfway there. Just pull the color down with the brush. Don't try and fill it in perfect yet, because we're going to have more colors on top of this, okay? Just bring it down like that. Very good. Look at that. Already looks like a mountain scene. Let's put a little bit of white. Let's grab a little bit of white on your brush now. Rinse your brush off, and let's put white here at the bottom. And let's curve this around like this a little bit. Pull some of that color down from the mountain. Just let it get it to mix in here. Just like that. Very good. Now what I'm going to do here, I think I'm going to have some water. Either a water or a river coming in here. You could do that. You could bring a river down. Or you can have this all water down here. Let's do a river. So what I'm going to do, I'll do the river just like the way I just put it in here. But let's pull this mountain area down this way. I'm going to put brown over here, or yellow ochre. I mixed yellow ochre and burnt umber. I'm going to put in some of that color over here on the right. Just like this. I'm just filling in the color right now. You don't have to make it perfect. we'll have like a, maybe some, this is like dirt maybe coming from the mountains, okay? Over on this side, we'll just put a little more of this color on this side of the river. Maybe just down to here. Just get the color in there. I'm going to go back to my larger brush. And I mix some green here. This is sap green with a little bit of yellow ochre in it. And let's put some green down here. Grass. We'll put some grass all in here around the river. I'm kind of going fast because I got to go to band practice here in a little bit, so. But you can see how I'm just laying in the color right now. I'm just laying the color in and getting the idea figured out, okay? This is called blocking in the color, okay? Blocking in the color, look at that. So that's pretty much the idea. So now let's do our river and kind of define it a little better. So I'm going to use the gray, the light gray we used up here in the corner for the water, and design my river here. And I'm going to make it a little wider down here at the bottom. A little bigger, I mean. Just like that. I like that. This could either be a river or a pathway, but I think I want it to be a river. That looks pretty good. And that looks simple. I'm going to put some snow on my mountain right now. I'm going to mix a little of the blue from the sky and the white. Just a little. And that's going to be my snow. I'm not going to explain how I do this. Just kind of watch how I do the mountain right now. I'll explain it a little, but I'm just hitting the right side of the peaks right now with a little paint on the blade. I'm following the angle of the mountain and pulling to the right. And I'm just doing each peak to start off with. Okay. Just like that. Now, I want to bring some more snow down on some of these, so I'm going to come underneath and add a little more color. And it'll change the way the mountain looks a little bit. Just like that. Basically, this white also represents the light, like where maybe the sun is hitting. Let's bring a hill over here, down this way. I think I'm going to put a hill right here once I get going. Look at that. Look at that mountain. Doesn't that look cool already? See what I mean? All this color that's down here right now, it really doesn't mean much. It's just the undertone tone, okay? Now we're going to start painting. Uh, I'm going to put some white clouds around the mountain real quick just to see what it looks like. So I'm going to grab some white here and right next to the mountain I'm going to brush in some color. Come right next to the peaks and just pull up some white. All the way. Right up to the edge of your mountain. These are going to end up being clouds, believe it or not. Just pull them up with your brush like this at the edge. Let's let that set for a while and see what happens, okay? I really like it already. I kind of like it. Pull it up with your brush so you can see the brush strokes up there, okay? Some people like to see the brush strokes in the painting, so leave it like that, okay? This is looking pretty good so far, believe it or not. I'm gonna do I'm gonna do this pretty simple. So what I have here is a fan brush. Okay, this is an oil fan brush, a number 2. I'm gonna put some trees back here and bring them all the way over here. I'm gonna use this is sap green. I mixed black in it. Okay, so it's really dark. I'm going to use some of this, but I think I'm going to try adding a little gray to it real quick, just to see what happens. Now, we're going to have to add a little white, just a little white to it. You get like a grayish green color. And I'm going to see if this is dark enough for trees. All the way across here. Just stamp it in with this fan brush. That's what these fan brushes are good for trees, okay? Let's keep them small over here. And over here we can get a little bigger, okay? And just stamp the brush in to get texture there. And now with your brush, wet it a little bit in the water, and at the bottom, let's pull the bottom straight across at the bottom. Just real quickly, and even maybe brush some of that color in that yellow to get some different things going on in there. All right, that's going to be a row of trees coming across. Wow, this is looking pretty good already. If you want, with your fan brush, you can put like a few indications of evergreen trees over here, okay? With just take your fan brush, and you can either pop them in like this and make them wider, Now, I'm not going to go all the way down because the video will take too long, but you can do that all the way as far as you want, okay? If you want to make these look like treetops all the way down, okay? But I'm only going to go that far for the video. That's all you got to do. And stamp in your color here. You can also, if you want it to look more like Impressionism, fill your brush up with the corner. Just pull up with the corner of your brush, okay? If you want it to look more like Impressionism, this brush is probably old, but just to make it look like treetops coming across there. That looks pretty good. I like that. Make this darker here. I kind of like that look with the just Impressionism. I'm going to wet my brush a little bit and grab a little bit of titanium white. Just a little. And at the bottom of my tree line, I'm going to pull some of that white at the bottom. Just a little bit of titanium white at the bottom. Just pull it out. You can also bring it into the trees a little so it just doesn't look straight across. You know what I mean? Like, bring your brush in here a little and it'll make it look, won't be so straight across is what I'm trying to say. Let's add a little bit of this. See this original color here I used? It was the yellow ochre and burnt umber. And let's grab some of that color now and bring it to the water. Should go back to my filbert brush, but just add some more brown to it there. Let me grab the filbert brush. Should be using the filbert brush on that. All right, so add that brown in there, and then let's try and blend that in a little bit. Wow, I really like that. That looks pretty good. I'm going to grab a little bit of the color I used on the mountain here and lighten up my water a little bit. There we go. A little lighter. All right, good. Looking good. I really like it so far. I'll deal with the water in a second. Over here, let's I'm going to put some bushes right here and then run a few trees here. So I'm going to use the dark sap green with black, and let's put some, let's see, I don't want them to be too far, so what I'm going to do is run a row of bushes from here on this side of the river and bring them up here. This is, what I'm using here is sap green and black. And I'm just trying to make some bushes here. Pull the bottom to the left here once you get your bushes in. So I can run some trees off of here. I'm going to use the oil brush with this dark green I made. This is how dark some of the evergreen trees are really dark when you go into the forest, especially here in Seattle. There we go. Sorry about that. Let's run some trees here. I'm going to make one really tall here and see what it looks like. And it'll help cover up some of this scene back here, so you don't have to work it as much. It'll still look like a river, but a lot of it's going to get covered now with a big tree here. Wow, that looks good. Could have made it taller. I think it could have made it taller. I'm going to fill this tree in and then highlight it. So I'm turning it into like a Christmas tree, okay, to hide some of what's behind there. Then I'm going to put a small one right next to it here. If you've seen my videos before with the rivers, I like to try and hide some of the part where it curves behind something, so it looks a little better. Okay, let's put in some bushes here now with the fan brush. We'll run some bushes from here all the way across. Maybe just right down here at the bottom. And then let's pull some of the color in. Have some bushes down there and these bushes here. Look at that scene already. Wow. I'm trying to go fast because I got practice. Uh, but it's going to come out good. I don't have anybody on right now. I was going to check the chat, but nobody's chatting. Look at that sky. Wow, look at those clouds already. Isn't that amazing? Look how those clouds came out. You can see the blue came through underneath and how the white mixed with the sky, and doesn't that look cool? Very nice. And I like the way these trees look more like impressionism going across the top here instead of trying to make them look like treetops. Just uh, keep it looking natural, you know. I really like that. I'm going to try and add a little white on my fan brush here to get some things going on in these bushes here. Just a little bit of white. A little too dark, but I'm going to highlight those bushes so it doesn't really bother me. I'm going to put some dirt down here. This is a mixture of yellow ochre and burnt umber. Just going to put color down here to make it look like dirt for now. And then grab a little white now. Wet your fan brush. Grab a little white, and right at the bottom of the bushes, pull the white one way. Right at the bottom. And then blend that white in. Blend it into the brown. Look at that. Look at that. I'm going to highlight those bushes right now. This is light green. I'm going to take some of this light green and a lot of water on that knife and add some white to it and highlight those bushes so they're really bright. Let's see what happens. We'll use this light. See how light green that is? Let's try it. We're going to use this oil fan brush. I'm trying to hurry. Just get a little bit of color on it. Now don't press so hard. Okay? Let's pick out some bushes here. What I like to do, let's stamp your brush in there really lightly. Okay, and we'll design some bushes. Let's see if you can see that. Yeah, see how that's one little bush down there now? We'll do some different colors. I see a bush right here. Very lightly, let some of the dark color remain in there, okay? Very lightly. Let's put one over here. Very lightly, just touch it and leave the dark color at the bottom. Now, let's put a small one over here. Now let's grab some yellow ochre on the same brush and let's make this bush here yellow ochre very lightly. And this, we got a big one here. The less you touch it, the more of that dark color will remain in there, okay? Then it'll look like shadows in the bush, okay? We need to brighten that up, so I'm going to grab a little bit of orange. add it into the yellow ochre and make some orange ochre. And let's see what that does. Wow, that looks good. Make some orange colors there. And now I'm going to keep that one green. I'm going to rinse my brush off. And I have a different green here that's kind of bright. And let's just make that bush green in the middle. Just like that. Wow, that's a nice set of nice colored bushes down there. I'm going to go ahead and highlight, go back to my light green again and start putting in some bushes down here, maybe some longer bushes. And then I'm going to add some different colors in it as I go. Some long bushes there, a little yellow ochre now for a bush up here on the top. Some more yellow ochre. Just like that. That's enough. That's enough bushes. Okay, these trees over here on the left, I'm going to use the original sap green and black and add a little white to it. Just a little white. And I'm going to use that to highlight. You got a greenish gray now. Greenish gray color. If your brush is too wet, just wipe it off and reload it. You don't need any water now this far into the painting. You just need to rinse your brushes off and then make sure you dry it off. So just highlighting this tree. You see that? It brought the branches out. Let's do the larger one now. I'm just concentrating on the right side of the tree from where the trunk would be and moving towards the right and leaving some of the branches dark and tapping very lightly to make small branches. Okay, so it looks like a lot of branches on that tree. Okay, and just barely touch the painting with the color. Okay, don't try and blend it in like we do this stuff. This color here is like the final color, so you just want to tap it on there. Okay, let's put on some white flowers down here. Grab some white on your fan brush and let's put in a few like white flowers here and there. Not too many. And we can try and put some yellow flowers in here. Just put in some more colors if you want. That looks pretty good, guys. Unfortunately, it's been 40 minutes. I got to get going. So this will be part 1. And I'll do a part 2. But look at that. Look at that scene so far. I still got a lot to do. You see this green grass here? I still got to work that. I got to work all this green in here and this section here and work the river. We'll probably put more trees over here is what I'm thinking, with some bushes along the water. And I like the sky. I might just put a few floating clouds up here, small, and a few eagles flying right through those two mountain peaks, right into the scene. Look at that. Wow. It's amazing. In 40 minutes, I started off with nothing. And wow. All right, look for part two. I'm going to have to finish this when I get back from practice. But I'll show you what I do now. Um, I'll show you what I do so the paint doesn't dry on me. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but so I got this container, and I'm going to tear this sheet off, and then so I can still have the same colors on the original painting. So you take this sheet here, just tear it off, and I'm going to lay it in my plastic container, close the lid, and when I get back, the paint will still be fresh, and then I can continue to finish this awesome painting. Wow. It's going to come out pretty good. I can already tell. It's looking good already. But see how I hid this side of the river? I'll make the river look a little better, but it just gave me something to work around. When I first put it in, I just laid it in there so I had an idea to run with. All right, guys, look for part two, and thanks for watching these. Cheers.